Hey Fuse leaders, how's it going? Barry Rod here. I'm going to be speaking on the Fuse Fall Retreat, and I got to say I am really excited about this. I just left a meeting with the whole team that's going to be leading this retreat, and man, it's shaping up to be really awesome. I thought I would send you guys a quick video because the information that I'm going to be sharing with the students and some of the topics that we're going to be covering will actually involve you guys a little bit. So I wanted you to be prepared to begin thinking and preparing your heart for how to lead your students and your small groups through what they're going to experience. So essentially, the topic is you were made for more, and it's going to be kind of like I guess a middle school version of what I preached about a couple weeks ago. The idea that every one of these students was made with a purpose and a destiny in mind. And so over the 3 sessions, I'm going to be basically answering 3 big questions. Number 1, who am I? Number 2, do I matter? And number 3, where do I belong? So the answer to the first question is, I'm a beloved child of God. I want them to recognize the fact that they are loved deeply by God. Number 2, do I matter? The answer is yes, absolutely. You were made to be a life bringer. I'm going to use the phrase life bringer, and I'll explain that in a second. But that idea is essentially the middle school version of what I preached. It's that you have a purpose in healing the broken world. And I'm going to put that in middle school appropriate terms. And then the third session is, and where do I belong? And that session is going to be all about the fact that they're a part of a spiritual family, that they are not alone, that each one of us is a part of a bigger family that's helping to heal the broken world. So the image that I'm going to be using throughout the whole, all 3 sessions is that of an acorn and an oak tree and a forest. So the idea is you were not made, if you're an acorn, you were not made to be squirrel food. You're made to be a mighty oak tree, because if an acorn doesn't become an oak tree, it ends up being eaten by a squirrel. So that's kind of the operating metaphor that I'm going to be using. So you weren't made to be an acorn to be a squirrel food. You were made to be a mighty oak tree. But I'm going to be using an imagery. I'm going to take it a little bit further and talk about the idea of a forest spreading into the desert, spreading life into the desert. And how does that work? And what role do trees play in helping to spread the forest and planting other acorns, etc. And then I'm going to talk at the end about the fact that each one of these students is a part of a bigger forest, that we are all together in this mission to bring life into the desert. So that's kind of where I'm going with it. But here's where you come in. Before session 3, after alone time, when the students have an hour alone with God, you are going to have an opportunity to have an I see in you conversation with everyone of your students in your group. Essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to go around, and your students can help chime in if they want to, but you're going to say, this is what I see in you. This is what I see you becoming. This is what I believe you are good at. This is what I notice that you seem to be really passionate about. And it can be as specific as you want it to be. Now, I realize we were talking about this, that there's the possibility that some of your students, you may not actually know them, or you don't know them very well. And so in the days ahead, in the next week and a half or so, you should be getting some resources that will help you prepare even for what to say to those students, some things that are going to be true for all students that you can then tailor to them. I think that every one of you is going to be able to have a really significant I see in you conversation with these students. And I really hope and I really pray that this becomes a foundational moment for them when they are able to begin to really grasp their identity as children of God and the fact that they have a role to play in this world. I really believe this can be a really foundational week for them, or weekend for them. So that's it. I'm so excited to spend time with you guys and to teach this retreat, and I really think it's going to be an amazing time. So I will see you next weekend. You guys be praying, be thinking about what God would have you do, and let's go in there and show these students that they were made for more. All right, see you soon. Bye.